Hi everyone, Misty here with Shabby Beautiful Scrapbooking. Today I'm going to show you how to make these pretty no-sew seam binding ribbon flowers. They're really easy, really pretty. I have 41 colors of seam binding in my Zip-It shop. I've already hand scrunched it, it's just ready for you to play with. It is 5 yards for I think $1.65, so you can go check that out. But I use that to make these. I used two different methods. I used, for this one, underneath this little rhinestone is actually a brad. So I'll show you how I put together this one. You're just going to take a length of seam binding. Actually, I'm not going to cut it. I'll just wait and see how much I want to use. Oops. Okay, so you just have your little mini brad. And you just thread that on there. So this will be the top of your flower. So you're just going to make loops and feed it onto the back of that brad. And feed it on. So you're just going from side to side. I did it over here and now the ribbon ends up there. So I'm going to just do it over there. Okay, you can see how this is coming about. You just keep doing it till it's the fullness that you want. And with it being scrunched, you just want to kind of go with the roll of the fabric. Don't try to straighten it out, just, you know, whichever way it wants to turn. Flowers in nature aren't perfect, and your homemade flowers shouldn't be perfect either. And it adds to the shabby chic effect of the flowers. Okay, so you can see it's getting there. Probably do a couple more little loops. Now I did do this with seam binding that wasn't scrunched and it didn't come out near as pretty. So I really like the scrunch. So what I'm going to do is just I've got my flower, just going to snip off the seam binding. Close your brad, and then you have your flower. And if you've kind of squished it, you can just scrunch it back up. See how pretty that is? And really easy. And then you could just take some green seam binding and make a little leaf. Really fun. Put a button, put a piece of old jewelry, whatever, as your center. So that was the brad. And then I used the, this is just really cheap. I think it was like $2. It's florist wire. Really, really thin. You can cut it with scissors. So you just take the length of that, cut it. And what I did, I make this little coil in the bottom. Kind of think of it as a knot to hold the seam binding onto the wire. So you don't want it to be really big and chunky, because depending on which end you like better, it'll be the top or the bottom of your flower. So my dog's ringing the bell, they want to go out. So I'll take another length, just cut it, and then if you see my other no-sew video, it's the same. You're just going to weave this on to the wire, just like if you were just doing like a little regular running stitch. And you want to do, I start out the first couple kind of close, and then you want to kind of go just a little farther apart. And you want to try to stay close to the edge here. And you can see how fast this goes. And if you use shorter ribbon, you're going to have a flatter flower, kind of like this one was just a little bit of ribbon, just a little bit flatter. And if you use more ribbon, it's going to be thicker, because you'll get more layers. Okay, so you've got that all on your wire. Now while it's on there, you're just going to kind of want to give it a little twist and pull it down. And as long as you don't pull it real tight, you can still kind of arrange it, oops, sorry, while it's on here. And I would flatten this out. You can see, just kind of twist it until you arrange it and get it how you want it. This way, sometimes it ends up just looking like a little rose. You get it twisted just right. But like I said, you're going to have to play with it to get it to do what you want. I'm so sorry about those dogs. Okay, so you can see that. And then on the back, I just take it, lay it flat, and kind of wrap it around in a circle again. And this kind of gives you a base to glue it onto. And then you just snip off. You want to make sure you get it, make sure you get it enough to where it's not going to slip off. And then you just give it a little snip. Push that down. Buff that back up. Now you can get this, I've been pretty successful in getting the flowers, arranging the seam binding where you can't see that if you want it to look more like a rose, or you can just put, like I did, little rhinestone or whatever on it. Oops. And then you just glue it down onto your project. That's it, easy peasy. So like I said, I have the seam binding 40 different colors in my exhibit shop. And oh, I'm sorry, I don't know if you guys have seen that trim that's all raggedy looking, but this was super easy. I just took, you can see on the back a little bit better, just cut strips and layered them on and shriveled them up. And kind of the fun thing about the seam binding is if you can find like a little loose end, a lot of times if you pull it, I don't know if you saw that, it kind of puckers them, so it almost makes them, then I would trim that off. So it almost makes them even more petal-like. It's just going to make it rippy. So there it is. Super easy, really pretty, and really fun to do. And as you just saw, it doesn't take any time. It can be very addictive because it's one of those things you can do in front of the TV since you don't have to sew or glue or anything like that. So that's all I have for you today. Thanks so much. Bye.